We're going to invite up James. James is on the accelerator side and partnerships as part of that funnel as well. As kind of Ruben mentioned, there's sort of the 0 to 1 moments of creating ideas and executing those ideas and building an MVP. That's what the hackathon is for. And then once you're done with that thing and you start getting traction, there's just a bunch of new things that pop up, new problems to answer. And it's the best thing that's possible is to have people around you going through the same thing and who've gone through that before as well. So inviting up James to the stage to kind of chat about the Accelerator program that PL's been leading and to share more about that. So James, when you're ready.
Thank you very much, Jacob, and great to see everybody here today. I'm going to talk a little bit about how and why you should be applying for a Protocol Labs Accelerator program. We're going to touch a little bit on the what's and the whys of acceleration. We're going to talk about the Protocol Labs approach to accelerators. We're going to touch upon how you become a Protocol Labs founder and what that means. It's not all one way. We're going to hear a little bit about our expectations of founders on our programs, and then obviously the next steps for you guys on how to apply. So first and foremost, the what and why of acceleration. As I'm sure many of you know, accelerators are fixed-term cohort-based programs that ultimately help turn your idea into a business. They'll give you education, mentorship, resources, often financing, and so much more. They are intense and they are immersive. They often compress years of education and insights into usually a number of weeks. They focus best for projects that are early product, but tend to also be pre-revenue. And they culminate in a demo day where you get to showcase your amazing project, including all of the insights that you've gathered from the program to a wide variety of investors. Accelerator programs can really help you get the traction that you need for your idea. As Ruben mentioned, a number of graduates from our programs started exactly where you are now as hackers. Incredible teams like PowerLoom, Huddle 01, Secured Finance, and many more. They sat where you are now as a hacker, and at hackathons, we obviously are encouraging all and any ideas, and then they took that idea through an accelerator program that really catalyzed the validation of the idea. For folks who haven't seen, Juan gives a fantastic overview of how to build a Web3 startup, all the way from when that is your idea is a very, very nascent concept through to finding very strong product market fit for your project and scaling and growing your business. And obviously, as John Lennon famously said about hackathons and hackers, you may say I'm a hacker, but I'm not the only one. You are among peers in your journey. So what is unique about our approach at Protocol Labs to accelerators? Well, you've seen this visual just before from Ruben. We want to help take you from your hackathon stage in your journey, working on your project or idea, down the funnel towards acceleration, and turn you from a builder into a fully fledged entrepreneur ready to hit escape velocity. Well, our accelerator programs give you three things. They give you the knowledge, the networks, and the capital to help you succeed. We have two sorts of programs at Protocol Labs. We don't run our own program in-house, but we partner with the best tech partners across the world to co-deliver amazing programs. Our co-branded programs with incredible companies like Techstars, like Longhash, like Outlier Ventures, and Graph Paper Capital, and you'll hear from Gabriel from Graph Paper Capital straight after me. We partner with them as Protocol Labs or Filecoin or one of our other brands and co-deliver the programs together, investing in every single team and taking a really hands-on approach. What's unique about these programs is all of the companies are building on our technology. So you are among friends when you are trying to work out how to solve some of the frictions that you're facing. We also have strategic partnerships with incredible partners like A16Z Crypto, CB Labs, Alliance DAO, and many more. These programs are the flagship programs that these partners run, and we partner with them to provide the PL-specific parts of the curriculum and also offer the suite of support services that Ruben outlined, including access to our community, our network of mentors, our investors, and so much more. So these are not necessarily exclusive to teams building on our technologies, but you usually have a few other folks who are building on Filecoin, IPFS, FVM, and more to talk shop with. We take our partnership selection extremely seriously, and our programs are really carefully designed and around how to enable you to succeed. So we look for the most experienced programs with extremely strong program management So the MDs of the programs are often multi-time founders, exited several companies, are the best people to help you on your journey. We take seriously the partners from an investment perspective. So ideally, all of our partners have their own investment vehicles to give you capital, or they have extensive partnerships or networks with investors around the world. They also tend to have extremely deep benches of mentors and experts. And so we cross-fertilize our mentorship and extensive investor network with theirs to make sure we get you in front of every single person that could possibly help you. And ultimately, there's an ethos piece here. Our partners all believe in Web3 and they are committed to building decentralized networks. One thing I want to touch on in particular is the importance of cohort-based programs. We intentionally run all of our programs as cohorts because we know intimately the power of peer-to-peer connection. With your peers on these programs, you don't just connect, you build, you grow. And as Y Combinator, as many of you I'm sure will be aware, espouse better than anybody else, your peers often become your first partners and your customers on your entrepreneurial journeys. We've been doing this for quite a while now. And so we've got a very good idea of what it takes to succeed in this very difficult building of a project or a business that scales through product market fit and beyond. So we've been able to repeatedly catalyze the founders, almost 300 of them across our network and beyond. We've run over 36 cohorts with the best partners in Web3 and beyond, and those companies have raised hundreds and hundreds of millions in external capital. So, trust us to empower and best support you to catalyze your build. So what is exciting about becoming a Protocol Labs founder, and why should you do it? Well, all of you here today, take a step back. Let's look at what a cohort in the life of a PL founder might include. Day one, you show up to your program, you meet some of your peers, you bond over the legal implications of DSNs and smooth jazz, Kenny G, all the rest of it. By week 3, you're blown away on a workshop about ZK rollups, and you stay all night up to research and potentially integrate that into your product. Week 7, you have a coffee with a mentor that you've requested to connect with, who subsequently advises you to do something different. You pivot. A fortnight later, you've 3x'd your users. And by week 12, you've got your first deal sheet from a pitch with an introduction to a top-tier VC, and you pop the bubbly or non-alcoholic beverage of choice. Hopefully that gives you a nice flavor of what an accelerator experience might be like. But don't worry, if that's not your jam, we have a number of different programs, each of them bespoke, so there's something for every single founder. Some of our programs are focused on technical founders and turning you into fully fledged entrepreneurs. Some of our programs are for business founders, and they're helping you find your technical co-founders or technical CTO and support functions. And there are other programs that have very, very unique approaches to acceleration. Our Live Ventures, for example, focuses on identifying your biggest friction and promises to resolve it by the end of the program. Tachyon likes to color code founders, and then subject to how you react to both anticipated and unexpected consequences, tailors your go-to-market from your color. Alliance is a program for a much more mature team. So you might have been on an earlier stage accelerator, even a pre-accelerator, and think, oh, I've done an accelerator program, I don't need to do another one. Don't worry, we've got some that are focused on Series A teams and beyond. The best way to think about our accelerator programs is as a gateway to a number of benefits from across the entire PL network. Ruben briefly touched upon some of these, but I want to double click on a few in detail that are specific for accelerator programs. So the first thing is we have devised and built out with all of our partners and programs a really resilient curriculum that covers everything you need to know about building successful startups in Web3. That includes amazing high quality programming, workshops, and privileged technical and engineering support. To give you a sense of who are some of the people that you'll hear from on your curriculums, talk all about everything from Web3 business models to tokenomics, to how you tell the story of your product or brand, to how you fundraise, build communities, and more. You'll hear from some of the most leading minds across Web3 who've been also exactly where you are now, including our own founder, Juan, who was on the Y Combinator program in 2014. And we are here today as PL because he sees the opportunity of an accelerator program at that time. Secondly, I think Ruben mentioned, so I won't double click on too many of these in detail, but you have funding. You have access to early stage capital, as well as all of our support to help you fundraise. Again, Ruben mentioned this, but I want to double click on the importance of networks, not just of mentors. And you can have different mentors that support your cause. You can have ex or current founders that teach you about how to become a better founder. You can have investor mentors that really teach you about how to fundraise and close deals once you've got your foot in the door. You can have executives who can give a very different perspective of how you might grow and scale your company. Or you have experts that can help you solve really technical or other issues that your business is trying to resolve. These are really, really important. And networks don't just extend to mentors, investors, or other. They extend to your peers. It's really crucial to build those strategic relationships and partnerships with those on your cohort and across the communities you're fortunate enough to be part of, because they will help you succeed. I promise you that. Obviously, the support that has been outlined earlier from the amazing GigaBrains at Protocol Labs, and this extends across the entire network. So whether or not you want support on one of our core protocols, you want support on cryptography or ZKs, you want support from our talent function to help you find colleagues that you need to help build your company, or as was outlined by Ruben earlier, through the PLN, the Messiah service provider marketplace is amazing. You want discounts on legal services, on design, whatever you can think of, there is a service and a provider for you, and always at a very strong discount for you as a PL founder. Visibility is really important in succeeding for your business, especially as you get to the end of your program. We give you the platforms, we give you the events, we feature you in newsletters, we invite you to every opportunity that we offer to enable you to showcase and demonstrate what you're building. And the community. There is a lot spoken about when it comes to community and Web3. And I think it's one of the things that aligns and brings us all even closer. We are all part of the same global community. We are all part of the same Web3 community. And we like to think of our founders community as a microcosm of that. It really will enable you to connect, build, and grow to nearly 300 other founders and the rest of the network that is there ready to support you. So a little bit about our expectations as I close out today. Firstly, how do you maximize getting onto onto one of our programs? What is our expectation of the teams that are accelerator ready? Well, think about it as 3 buckets plus community. The first is around feasibility. Can what you're building actually be built? Not just as a prototype, but as a fully fledged business. Can it become a scalable product and service that finds product market fit and attracts investment? And are you the right people to build it? The best founder stories are the people that have lived the friction and then come up with a solution to solve it and bring other people on that journey. Secondly, the desirability. Does what you're building solve a real world problem or friction? Will people actually use it as you're building it and when you think you've built it? Although building never stops. And then finally, on viability, can what you're building find that all-important future growth and attract that all-important investment? And then wrapped around this, there's no point building any of this in a silo. You have to garner support from others who believe in what you're building and can support your cause. So the community aspect is an often overlooked but a really important part of any application onto our accelerator programs. How do you maximize once you're on a program? What are our expectations of you? Well, ultimately, you craft your path. Active engagement will lead to active reward. If you are engaged, if you are active, if you keep us updated, you tell us about your investor updates, your frictions, your challenges, and you use us, how can we help solve them? How can we make connections, introductions, help connect you with the right person to solve a small friction that might lead to a big improvement with your product? You have to lean into us to reap those benefits. And we really, really encourage you to do so. Not just us, the entire founders ecosystem that is there ready to support you. So I assume you are now frothing at the mouth, ready to apply to one of our accelerator programs. And don't worry, it is super, super easy. So have it in the back of your mind as you're building. Heed the words of the John Lennon on Hackers. So all you need to do is scan the QR code on the left side of the screen that says Scan Me. That will take you to our Protocol Labs Accelerator Program homepage on Notion. On this document, you will also find more information, not just about how to apply and enroll, but also more about what is in it for you as a founder, some of the requirements we have of our applications, and then plenty of more information that will answer all of your questions. You will scroll down onto this page, you will click Apply Here Now, and then there are 2 options here for you in applying for a program. Option number 1 is you join our waitlist for all of our accelerator programs that are looking for teams for their accelerators. So you join a sourcing pool of all the teams to which all of our partners can look through your application and then actively reach out to you to say, we are interested in your product or build. We'd love to have a conversation and invite you to potentially apply or join one of our programs. Or if you know what you want, or you've had a conversation with somebody and you think you might be best fit for a specific accelerator, you can choose option 2, where you can apply to the programs directly. And all of our programs, including those that are sourcing, are listed via the second link. Good news, there are 2 amazing accelerators that we've worked extremely closely with the leadership team for many, many years, currently sourcing for teams, specifically FVM teams. And they are Graph Paper Capital, and you'll hear from the amazing Gabriel very shortly, and Long Hash Ventures. So do check out those requirements and apply either throughout or following your hack. Really do use us. I cannot stress this enough. We are here for you. We are all really, really passionate about supporting builders and the next generation of Web3 projects and startups. So whether it's myself or Ruben, the incredible Nikki, Yaya, Yulia, Dawn, Carlin, or anybody else in the PL network who can also redirect you towards us, find us, use us. We're on Twitter, we're on Telegram, we're in the Filecoin Slack. There are many different verticals from which to attack and to use us. So please do. And I will leave this QR code on the screen so those of you who are interested in our programs can click it one more time if you didn't get a chance. And we really, really hope to see you on one of our programs soon. And thank you very much indeed for listening.
Awesome. Thank you so much, James. And thank you, Ruben, before him. I think if anything you should take away from this, they're here for you, and that they've spent a lot of time thinking about how they can support builders and people like you who are starting in the funnel or further down the funnel, or really any part of their journey. So yeah, thank you both again. And thank you, James, for jumping through that.